Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and once again it is time for my client Ted's Conjugate vlog. So we started the week off with strict press. Some of these lifts we're not going for true maxes, we're just trying to get a good single in. He's got some stuff coming up so we can't overtax him, we got to watch fatigue. So again, just maintaining good strength base on a lot of this stuff. But again, we do on max effort day, we did a strict press, then we're doing axle bar floor presses. Again, he gets a lot of benefit out of these. We get good carryover to stuff. So then we spent a lot of time this week doing log presses. So again, does multiple sets of these. Of course, he has to clean them up, so we get them up into position, and then he does rep work with it. So again, for this phase of training, this is a major staple for him. Again, you guys will find out why later. But again, we're pushing the log press really hard, doing a lot of conditioning right now. So again, we're having to watch the fatigue a little bit on some of the max effort stuff. So people have noted, like, we've seen him do 205 on the strict press. That looked like less than that. Yeah. So we're not trying to PR on any of the maxes at the moment. So again, a lot of log pressing though. So again, very overhead press. Dominant phase, so we even did MB work with it. Then we've got this going on. Then obviously we throw some incline and stuff in on the speed bench day. So again, more log press footage here for you guys. I didn't get as much footage from him this week. I'm trying to just stay on top of stuff. He's doing, again, a lot of busy stuff, a lot of conditioning work, and we're just essentially trying to manage fatigue right now with the amount of all that's going on. But again, log press here, he noted this was his last set of the day out of that. And he's just like, man, I'm struggling with it. The fatigue is building. At third set, he really couldn't get quite as much performance. But again, doing well with it, we're happy. And he's always been strong at overhead stuff, and we want to keep it that way. Again, we want to be a well-rounded athlete. In his case, he's like, I want to compete in multiple different things, so we have a few different things coming up in the future, including powerlifting meets. And I have a physique update for him. I'll probably put it up tomorrow. He's up to 195 and still has abs, so we're happy with that. So for max effort lower, of course, we did a deadlift, then we do all of our normal stuff. We're really watching quad work though. Right now we're trying to not overdo it because again, we've had some issues with some minor adductor strains in the past, and I'm wanting him to limit those things. So we've talked about that a little bit, about ego lifting on some of the machine squats, of saying, look, we don't need extra stuff thrown in. If I give you, this many in the week, let's not do more, because then he does sled work. And I mean, I put up, I think the last couple of weeks, some of the footage of the sleds. So again, we're spending a fair amount of time on sled pushing, on sled pulling. He does backwards sled work. So again, all that stuff, very large amount of GPP and conditioning happening here for him right now. So on the max effort day, of course, we live on good mornings for him. We live on posterior chain work for him because this is where we're weakest, right? This is where he's weakest on the lower body. And so we've continued to build those things up. We've done pretty well. He's hit like 300 pounds on the SSB good morning. We've done more than 300 on the cambered bar. So again, we hammer his posterior chain into the ground. So good mornings, glute ham raises, reverse hypers. These are pretty much staples on both of his lower body days, right? So we tend to do all three of these on the lower body days. Even if we have days where he doesn't do as much quad work, we stay on top of all that posterior chain, just like we do lots and lots of overhead pressing, but I'm now having him do more and more flat type pressing. Coming up here soon, next phase coming up here in a few weeks, we'll probably go over to some slightly different stuff. We need to keep conjugate in for him at the moment. But then we'll probably go into kind of a base building phase where he's like, I just want to stack on as much extra lean muscle as I can, but we want to use the classic lifts because we want a phase before we go into powerlifting meets. And so it's like, we'll just use a little bit of heavy volume on those big three to get him thicker, continue to gain muscle, and then it'll also carry over into specificity on that. But right now we're keeping him very broad in his strength. So we're still running conjugate. right? We're running conjugate. And so for him, though, because of some few different endeavors we're going to be doing through the year, we're going to have to rotate stuff a little bit. But again, there's the reverse hypers. Then, of course, dynamic effort upper day. We have speed bench against bands. And I think this is the only footage I got was speed benching for that day. So we have speed benching. And then, of course, he does incline. He does all his other normal stuff, all the pull-ups, the rows. So we didn't get, I don't have footage of that this week, but you guys know we do axle bar rows with a fat bar for him. We do weighted pull-ups. He's pretty strong at weighted pull-ups. We've seen some of the back picture updates. Dynamic effort lower. This phase, it's safety bar box squats, right? Safety bar box squats. So again, we run these at about 50% of 1 rep max, right? 50% of 1 rep max. So again, got a couple different angles so we can see what he's doing there. So again, safety bar box squats are definitely tough. Like anyone who's ever done these heavy knows, they're like, dude, they're so difficult. You're going to be way weaker on this than you're going to be on a normal squat. I'd say in my case, probably 100 pounds gap, usually when I do these personally, when I've done them in the past. So again, that, and then of course we have speed pulls. So we're doing speed conventional deadlifts right now for this phase, still off of a deficit. So again, he's on the mat right there. So again, I like that deficit. I find that it helps with overall speed and lockout. Then here's some of our supplemental quad work. We usually do some machine squats here. Although in this next phase coming up here later, I'm gonna have him do just lots of back squatting. We're gonna do back squat volume just to get big and thick. Again, and to get the carryover we want. So again, we have the machine squats, and then I've got his safety bar good mornings here coming up, some more footage of that. And then pretty much going to end the vlog. We have other stuff. We've got reverse hyper footage and things, but no need to drag the vlog out. You guys know what all he does. We've already seen it. So again, after this, it's all posterior chain, right? Safety bar good mornings, glute ham raises, reverse hyper extensions. Again, for him, glutes and hamstrings erectors, glutes, hamstrings erectors, glute, hamstrings erectors. We have to build these. These are his limit. They're what limit his performance on our big lifts, particularly conventional. He's stronger at sumo. So again, his quads and stuff are a little bit stronger. So again, we pretty much beat his hamstrings into the ground, as people have noted. I don't really let them get a break, but we need to get them bigger and thicker. Okay, we need to, for his overall strength, they hold him back in terms of his total ability. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.